Anthony Ferraro, Dan Mancina. Two blind guys collide to bring you Four Bad Eyes Podcast.
Today's episode is brought to you by
Clusive.io. It's an online learning platform designed by the visually impaired
and blind
to create learning to connect huge companies with lots of money, lots of mullahs with the visually impaired community.
and blind.
Yes, to get jobs that are more meaningful and higher paying, on average 1.8 times more the monies.
1.8% times.
More
That's
the
almost
mullah.
double.
That's almost double for more the mullahs. And 86% of interviews nowadays are done online.
Almost
Did you know that,
100%.
Anthony?
That's almost 100%, Dan.
Inclusive is the only company that's actually giving training to nail the interview,
Thank you, Clusive.
to use the platforms, to get yourself lined up in that little camera when you're behind and nail that interview. That's what's up. Inclusive is an amazing company.
And they're also working with
amazing
these
things.
companies to train them on how to work with blind or visually impaired individuals in the workspace.
Crucial.
How do you talk to them?
Crucial.
How do you interview them?
That can be very
what
intimidating.
things not to say?
That's right. Thank you, Inclusive. We love you for all the things that you do. Check them out, please.
Dan, where can people go if they're looking to get involved? If you're blind or visually impaired, know someone who's blind or visually impaired, or if you're a company looking to hire blind or visually impaired and train your employees and staff.
Clusive.io. It's that simple. Check it out. If you're visually impaired, ask your counselor. What is Clusive?
And you know, type it out. Go on your computers. Clusive.io.
Get the monies. Get a meaningful job.
1.8%.
Thank you, Clusive.
Let's get back to it. Whoa! What
Big
an
dog
intro,
barks.
big dog.
What an intro. I hope you can hear that. We're back with Four Bad Eyes.
Anthony Ferraro.
Dan Mancina.
And speaking of big dogs, we got the dingo in the house.
the fifth and sixth bad eye.
Fifth and sixth bad eye, all the way from Adelaide, Australia.
Adelaide or Adelaide?
Yeah, how do you-
It's Adelaide.
Richard Willie Moore,
Yo, what's
also
good?
known as Liquid Canes.
Yo, what's going on?
We had Richard come in because we have the second annual Blind Bonanza. A bunch of adaptive riders coming in, shredding, hitting up Modern. Shout out to Georgia Modern.
George,
And,
likewise.
Dude, he flew all the way here to come shred with
How many hours?
It was like 30 hours
with
worth
the
of travel.
boys. We
Yeah.
got to get some girls coming to shred
We
with
do
us.
need some of
Yeah.
those girls.
I've had a girl named Natalie hit me up. I think she's from
Yeah, she hit me up too.
Yeah.
Natalie.
She's claiming she's coming next year.
Yeah, she said that to me
She's
too.
like, I want to come. I was like, dude,
Shout out
come
Natalie.
On. Come on.
Let's
Get
go.
out here. You got to
But-
keep growing this thing.
Hell yeah.
Two
But
weeks.
Richard, the furthest trip we've had
Yeah.
person.
I think
make
that's
it.
about as far as it gets right there.
Yeah.
It's pretty unbelievable, dude.
How was your flight? 30-hour trip?
I don't sleep on planes. Like I haven't been out to the States for 10 years, and I was awake for 46 hours on that flight. And this one
Did you stop in LA? Where'd you stop?
Wait, you were awake for how many hours?
like 46 hours. Oh no, that was the last trip. This trip I was smart about it. But
Okay.
yeah, I still
30 hours this time.
Yeah, it was 30 hours straight with maybe an hour's worth of sleep because it's 3 flights to get up to Detroit. 'Cause
Yeah, where'd you go?
So Adelaide to the East Coast. So I flew out of Sydney.
Oh, East Coast.
Yeah.
East Coast meaning Sydney?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
thought you would go west.
East Coast means
No,
like,
no, that's the other way. Like that's Perth, and then there's like nothing.
So like the
Yeah.
Jersey of Australia.
Yeah. Well,
No.
yeah. Well, kinda. Yeah. So it's Adelaide to Sydney, Sydney to LAX, and then LAX to DTW.
Didn't you say you had some like stuff happen to you on your flight or something?
Yeah. Fuck. Okay. So.
Oh, East Coast of Australia. Okay.
Yeah. So like when I was originally like booking the flights and like talking to Nick, and like big shout out Nick Mullins for actually
Mullins!
for hitting me up.
Started this whole.
Sorry. Nick Mullins!
Whoa, yeah.
Yeah.
Started this whole Blind Bonanza.
That's
He
it.
did.
That's it. Yeah, when I was like booking flights, it's like there was an hour and a half connect in Sydney, and I was like, oh, I didn't really think about it, and I was like, oh, actually, like I'm flying domestic, like into international, and you have to go through immigration from the country, that you're flying into, obviously, on your last flight. So I was like, oh, that's going to take forever. And I didn't really realize. And our flight out of Adelaide was like hella delayed. And then when I got to Sydney, it was literally like they first like moved me to the front of the plane so they could get me off. This lady, like then a Qantas assist.
Did you get the wheelchair?
No, she essentially ran with me, because the international terminal at Sydney.
She ran with you?
No, we literally we were like power walking. We were like, I'm like powering through the thing with the cane. I'm like, let's fucking go. But yeah, they threw me in a cab and like to drive to the international terminal because you've got to drive. It's like
golf cart thing.
No. It was an actual taxi.
Oh, wow.
You had to leave.
Like a taxi cab.
It's a whole different terminal.
Yeah, it's a whole different terminal. Sydney's actually really
But
big.
not connected terminal, so you got to get in the car.
No, you've literally got to drive.
That's how Detroit's kind of like that. You have to take a shuttle to the other.
You do shuttle, but this is extra. You had to go outside.
Damn, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, unless,
They hustled you through though.
They hustled me straight through, dude. It was really stressful because I could hear them coordinating. They were like, look, when you get to international, like there'll be somebody there to meet you. We're giving them the cab number, blah, blah, blah. I get there and there is nobody. Like I get out of the cab and like this dude's like, oh, there you go. And I was like, where do I go? And he's like, in that door. And I was like, all right. And I was like, okay, this, like, I was like stumbling around trying to find a sign. I was like, oh, I think this is international. Roll in, and it's fucking dead. Like, there is like nobody in there. And I'm like, batting my way around trying to like navigate this part of the airport.
So
that
you
I've
didn't
never
have
really
somebody
been to.
with you at that point?
No. They had somebody like at the domestic, but nobody at international. And then 5 minutes, I'm like, trying to work, find my way around and found like a service counter. And they were like, she's like, oh, this is like for first class. And I was like, I don't care. Just like somebody was meant to meet me. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then like this lady came and she was like, oh, I think you're who I'm looking for. And we went straight through. But yeah, there was like, it was like final call, like the red light was on. It was like the flight was meant to leave like 20 minutes early, and they waited for me basically. So
Damn,
that's
but we
really
made it,
stressful.
and then it was 13 hours straight. I didn't sleep. Oh, maybe I got like 20 minutes, and then got into LAX at 6:30 at night, and then it was the red eye up here, so it was at like 11:30. So I had 6 hours to kill. I just missed Anthony actually, and but the best part, this is really funny.
That's when you got in that,
Yeah, no, literally the LAX assistants, she was actually the one that was helping, I believe so, Anthony and Callie, like a couple hours earlier, because she was like, oh, I was helping this other blind guy, and like, they were going to Detroit. I swear, like that.
That was Coco.
Oh,
it was Coco.
Maybe
it was definitely Coco because me and Kelly don't get the assists when we go through.
Okay,
because we're just like whipping through because I have Kelly there.
But either way, it was really.
We're
fun.
also not the only blind people traveling, but
yeah,
no, but legitimately, no. But she said, oh no, like there was she was like there was this other like blind dude with like long hair flying to Detroit, and I was like, I was like 100% would have been like this guy, but anyway, whatever.
Did you ask her if the person was going, that's Coco's chain.
Coco.
Dude, seriously. No. Because I hadn't met Coco. I hadn't met any of y'all up until this point.
Yeah.
So,
I know. You were just a voice on a phone to me.
Yeah. That's it. And I was real slack actually getting in contact with Dan. Like,
Yeah,
I've spoken to everyone properly except Dan prior to this trip. Like we've chatted, but not like I've had like phone
we spoke, was it like a
conversations.
year ago?
Really? No, well, you were the first person I reached out to because you were the first one I found.
Chatted, yeah.
Dude, I must say that was really ballsy, like to just come to the States, like not knowing anyone actually in person, like not meeting any one of us.
Yeah, it's a lot to come.
And being blind, traveling across the world, coming here, and that's really.
Me and Anthony were talking about this the other night and how just like, how cool it is that it's growing and. How far it freaking came and just people coming from
like even
around the world.
We were tripping out about how everyone was at the adaptive park here. And it's just like you're from Australia, like people are from all over the country, and it's just it's really incredible to see it grow.
Cool. Well, that's what we've been saying all weekend. Like this whole weekend's just been like the beginning of something like very special. Like it's like I've still got no words. It's been crazy.
I have a story. I was in I was like West Coast, like Calgary, Canada, and I had to
go Flames.
And I had to stop. I had to stop in Montreal, maybe. I had another stop in Canada before I came home. And same thing as I had to go through the customs and all that stuff. And I'm like trying to be super independent. I'm like, to like offer me a wheelchair. I'm like, no, I'm good. And I'm just like walking with this lady. She's like, we're kind of running late. I'm like, I'm good. We're cruising. I'm cruising with her, using my cane, walking with her. She's like, long story short, my stubbornness, I ended up spending the night in freaking.
No.
Oh, God. Because you missed your flight.
I missed my flight. They put me up in another.
Because you refused to walk, grab on or something?
I was like the last one off the plane, like waiting. They knew that they didn't put me in the front of the plane, that kind of deal, which they should have.
Yeah.
And had me like first off, getting my way on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think we had a little bit of a delay too getting in, so everything kind of went bad. But kind of that my stubbornness, and then I ended up having to stay the night and take a freaking 4 a.m. flight.
I bet you never made that mistake again,
dude. I'm all for the chair. Like, yeah.
You do the chair? No.
I got wheeled. I got wheeled on the flight to here, like in between LAX and DT.
I did it once because I destroyed my ankle. I was limping like so hard, and I was like, I'll take the chair.
I had to do that after a judo tournament. Yeah, I did.
I'll take it with a proper injury. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just like, whatever. Like I don't know. It's funny. Like with like what I've learned anyway with like, because I've the site's only sort of gone really recently. I've learned to just kind of accept what comes. Like I'm honestly like for least path of resistance. So if somebody's like, this is the protocol or whatever, I was like, I don't care. Like, put me in the freaking chair. Like, that's fine. Like,
you do it, yeah.
I've got no shame in any of that. Like if, like, especially with traveling and stuff, like I went for my first trip by myself back to, so I used to live in Melbourne, and I went for my first trip back. And
how far is that?
Oh, it's an hour flight. It's like a 9-hour drive, but it's an hour flight. Like it's not that far.
Yeah.
And it was my first time like traveling by myself. And of course, like this is the city that I grew up in. This is a city I know like the back of my hand. And it was still like so taxing because, it was the first time traveling.
Mm-hmm. That was your first time traveling after vision loss?
By myself with vision loss.
How old were you?
Oh, like this was like, early this year?
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because we were locked down.
Right.
So I only moved to Adelaide in November. So yeah, Chloe and my partner and I, we were living in Melbourne, and then we were just like, we want to be close to family because she's originally from Adelaide as well. Uh-huh. And so
Adelaide is west side.
It's central.
It's central.
It's central. We're
and then
like
Melbourne is
southeast.
Is southeast.
Yeah, so
Sydney's east coast.
Sydney's east coast. East. Melbourne's like directly south from.
Where's
Sydney.
the bush, mate?
The bush is
all
everywhere,
over.
mate. It's out back.
Okay.
Mainly bush. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is mainly bush.
Well, 2/3 of it's desert.
Yeah.
It's a massive country, but it's just like, as I was been saying, like there's only a few states and 2 territories.
Have you been surfing out there ever? You ever try surfing?
Yeah, I've been surfing and snowboarding.
Gnarly surfing in Australia.
Big sharks.
Oh yeah. Oh no, there's heaps. There's heaps of
sharks. That's
where
where the great whites hang out.
Heaps, mate. There's
That's where they jump out of the water and eat seals.
Is that where there's the box jellyfish, or is that Africa?
No. We've got it's like blue ring octopus.
Yeah. Okay.
Stuff. Yeah, and there's heaps of jellies. Like, so if you go swimming in the beaches in Queensland, they have these nets to try and like sort of keep that out. But you can only swim during certain times of the year.
My brother lived in Australia for like a year going to school, and he traveled everywhere to surf. And he was at some coral reef there, and he tried to like jump off it to drop in on the wave, and he slipped, and his freaking ankle or his heel cut from the heel to the toe on the coral reef, like split directly open.
Yeah, no, Carl's lethal.
Was he going to school for playing the didgeridoo?
He went to school in Wollongong.
Wollongong.
Yeah.
It's Wollongong.
Wollongong.
Not Wollongong, mate.
Okay, mate. So, listen, it's a burger, not a bagger.
Side note for all the listeners out there, they got way more Australian out of these two than you did out of me this weekend. For real.
Oh, man.
You brought some
You brought the Tim. Tidgeridoo tats.
I don't remember.
Tim Tams.
Tim Tams. The
We need
tats,
more
like,
Tim Tams.
Yeah,
Anyone that
back
wants to
home,
send
them
Tim
the Tim
Tams
Tams.
for Bad Eyes, please.
they're
Please,
We,
so
the
good.
OG kind. That's the best kind. Just the original.
I brought over the OG and some
chocolate-
fruit
Oh my
chocks.
gosh.
Chocolate covered like wafer. There's a little caramel in
Is
there
it a
too.
wafer? No, I think it's just the wafer that has that sweetness.
It's a cookie.
It's like it's biscuit.
Because I had a caramel flavor one, the caramel one.
Oh,
and
they're
they're
dope,
too
dude.
sweet
No,
though.
the chewy caramel. They're fucking sick.
Oh, they're really sweet. I like the chocolate mint ones. They were good.
Yeah.
You get some crazy-
OG is the one though.
OG is the one.
Yeah.
You get some crazy sweets from other countries, but those were on point, dude.
They are on
Those were-
point. There was like everything you want in a chocolate can like that. Like you got the crunch, the chocolate.
You go to
And-
like Asian companies or Asian
You ever have
candies, and
the
they're like
Pockies or
crazy.
what are they called?
Oh,
Pock-
dude, like Poker's the best. Like,
those stick things?
Yeah, they're so
I'm
fucking
not a
good.
big fan.
Those
Yeah.
are good.
Did so when I actually got the Tim Tams for you guys, I was telling Kelly like the coffee trick. Did anyone actually do the coffee trick?
No, and we actually
y'all-
were like,
y'all
so
would-
because me
y'all
and Dan couldn't stop eating them after we got finished skating. We got them out of the fridge in the
Dude.
garage.
Did
and we
you
just
did you hear the coffee trick?
Yeah, you bite.
You bite each end and then you suck your coffee through it.
yeah, that's and it apparently only lasts for like 2 sips though.
Yeah, because it melts and your fingers get all
So
sticky
you need
and
a
shit.
whole box of
You need
Tim
a- you need
Tams
a
to get
punch
through
through
your
a bar.
cup of
Yeah.
coffee.
Yeah.
That's a little. That's. I couldn't do that. A lot of sweet in the morning for that. That was like a little much. I couldn't do it in the
Yeah.
morning. Yeah.
So wait, I do want to get to this though. You said you lost your vision very recently then?
Well, recently by so I got diagnosed with RP in early 2018.
RP fam, shout out.
That's it.
Do you know your gene?
I believe it's gene X, but that's
Is
as
that what
much
you
as
are,
I've gone
Dan?
into
I
it.
have the X attached to the X chromosome.
Yeah, that's the one.
Only affects the males.
And
Yep.
did they tell you it was
And
only gonna?
and it's
but-
rapid onset too.
Wait,
right?
your mom though
mom,
is blind, so that wouldn't be the X.
Well, this is the thing. We're not sure. I've still got to do the genetic testing. To be honest, I've just been like really lazy with it. But
The X only affects the males.
yeah, and it's crazy because like my 2 younger brothers have got perfect eyesight. So I'm the oldest of 3.
2 of my brothers are blind. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting there. Yeah.
So hang on. What side was
One
it
of
for you
them's
then? Was it your mom?
My mom, it's RPX, so it's attached to the X chromosome. So my mom passed it on. So when she has a boy, she has a boy, it has a 50% chance of getting that X
A
chromosome.
girl has 0%,
No. Well,
A girl can carry it on,
but
but
won't.
she has the two X chromosomes, right?
I don't know
Because she has an extra chromosome that corrects that over. You're not affected by the actual RP.
Yeah.
But so all my brothers, when they have a kid, so if my brothers have a daughter, then when they have a kid, if they have a boy, they have a 50% chance of getting that bad X chromosome. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's it. Because I obviously got tested for it as a kid because there's like a long history, especially on like mom's side. But yeah, mom's like textbook. So she is like, I've actually overtaken it with my vision loss now, but she's been legally blind for at least, I'd say close to 10 years, if not 10 years. She's had like her guide dog Harvey for a couple of years now.
How much can your mom see at all?
Yeah, she's got more than I do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So basically, 2018 rolls around. It's like February.
And how is your vision then?
Well, this is what I'm getting to.
No, but how was it like?
Like prior.
Prior to the vision loss.
Oh, this is the thing. I didn't think it was that bad, but if we're going off like the field test, I was actually really bad, like without even knowing.
Couldn't drive back.
You never got your license.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So when I went for my learner's permit, I got like 96% on the test, but I went in with glasses because I had glasses on at the time, and they're like, oh, you've got to do an eye test, and I couldn't read the line to pass.
Yeah.
So I was just like, so I've never held a license, but basically. Yeah, 2018 rolls around. And I'm like getting all these dizzy spells, and I was like, I feel like I'm going to like tunnel vision and stuff. And went to the Eye and Ear Hospital because we've got a pretty decent one in Melbourne. And it was really funny because I was in like this. I was getting all these like weird I felt like I was passing out. I was having all these like weird episodes. Like these, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And basically, like, I got to the hospital, they did all these tests, and they were like, yeah, it looked like you're showing signs of RP. And I was like, oh, that's what Mom's got. Like, okay, cool. I don't have to deal with that for like 20 years, right? Like, I was like, whatever.
She's so much older.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, I mean, Mom's not that old, but like, yeah, anyway. And
Super old. No,
yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Shouts to Lisa. She's a spring chicken.
Spring chicken. Yes.
Lisa.
Hell yeah.
She's still got it going on.
Oh, she's definitely got it going on. She does heaps. She does heaps of cool shit. Yeah, but yeah, basically, like they made me do the field vision test, and then they remade me do it because they thought I was like fucking it up or like I was really tired. I was like a few degrees over 10. So in Australia, for legally blind, it's 10 degrees of field or less, and I was literally just above that when I was getting tested. Wow. So I was like,
that's shitty.
But that's what I thought like was normal, right? So and then when I started working out when like what other people could see, I was like, oh, like
I'm
this
blind,
is really bad.
mate.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, I'm blind. Let's like get tested. One love. Keep pushing. But yeah, basically, like between now and then, so 2 years roll past, and I noticed changes like really rapidly. So I lost about 80% in about 2 years, like 80% of my vision then. So I'm like, within the year, I was at legal blindness, so I dropped below the 10 degrees. And if you look at the trajectory of like you know, my field visions and all that, like field vision tests and all that, like I'm in theory on the road to zero, but as we know with RP, because I remember like you were talking about, Dan, like, you know, you had that one morning where you woke up and like a whole chunk had gone.
I was gonna say,
you
must. It sounds like you have something else on top of the RP too.
Yeah, so I've got a bunch of stuff. So I still have like
coats.
I've got nystagmus in the left, so I've got a really bad lazy left.
Yeah, I have nystagmus in both eyes.
Yeah, I've also got really, really bad visual snow.
Wonky eye.
For people that don't know, nystagmus is where your eyes shake uncontrollably, like you have no control over it.
Yeah, so it like my left is notoriously bad for it. I've also got visual snow, so I've got a constant firework display going on, and so with that, what happens with that is
I love the winter.
Yeah.
Now, when you're watching one of those TV channels that it's just fuzz.
No, well, that's it. That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
It's like you know, life in
pixelated.
180p. Yeah, life in 180p.
Yeah.
With looking through a 5-cent piece. Like
and
that's where I'm at with it.
And you have double vision, right?
Yeah. So I've like
double vision.
Yeah, pretty much. It's crazy. So there's like all this extra shit which causes a bunch of neurological issues. So I have like these weird stroke symptoms and I have seizures and shit. So it's a trip because, you know, being blind isn't bad enough. Right.
How did you cope with that when it started happening? Did you get pretty depressed?
Well, I don't know how deep you guys want to go here.
As deep as you're willing to go.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got no qualms with it. As I said, when I first got diagnosed, I was like, oh, whatever, like I don't have to deal with this. And then I noticed the changes and the dizziness and like all this, like a whole heap of physical stuff was happening. And I was like having as I said, all these weird episodes and like, you know, there was numerous ambulance rides because people thought I was having like a fucking heart attack or something. Like my left side was going.
So you were going to the hospital.
Oh, I was going to the hospital a bunch, dude. Like I hate it. Like I was averaging like 4 or 5 like ambulance rides a year, minimum, and like
that's scary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's
a lot of anxiety. Cause you're like, what is actually happening? No one's giving me answers.
Yeah.
Yet.
So at the end of the day, where we're at with it now is like it's all stress. Like stress is the biggest killer, but it's basically it's a lot of neurological stress. There's a lot going on with it, but I think once I worked, the biggest turning points were because of my lack of fields. I'd been looking down way more than I should have for a very long period of time. So I've got a really bad neck and really bad shoulders. So when
I have terrible posture as well.
Yeah, and that's I mean, you're sitting like this doesn't help, does it?
I know.
No, but
that's how I always
am.
Yeah.
This is our comfy couch. Don't.
Gotta get a higher table.
Yeah. No, it's so
Let your
good.
knees going.
Excuse me.
But yeah, basically just when I got hooked up with an osteo back in Melbourne, and she was like, we really need to get you like not looking down. And then it clicked. I was like, well, hang on, I'm gonna need the cane. Like maybe I'm already at that point. And that was a bit of a shock. I was like, oh, like again, all this stuff that I was sort of thinking about, but wasn't really thinking about was like suddenly happening.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, that's fine. There was a little bit of acceptance and like reached out to Vision Australia. I wasn't even on DSP yet. It's a disability support pension, which again, the red tape of, trying to get on any sort of disability.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. So I was like, I didn't have that validation from the government, if that makes sense. Like I knew where I was at with my fields and like what I was seeing on the day to day. I was like, I'm 100% like, 95% blind at this point almost. And reached out to Vision Australia, which is an organization back home. Did my O&M training for like the cane. Got my first cane and picked that up really quickly. And being able to like walk down the street and not look down at my feet was massive.
Yeah.
So that was a big life changer. And then at the time, so like I was like riding BMX and filming and doing all this other stuff. Like I've always kind of skated. I was always in the background, but I was like really trying to sort of push like my riding at the time and like filming the homies, and like I was doing like a distro and all this sort of stuff. And so I was like, oh, I can't ride with the
distro.
Cane. Oh, like a brand distribution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like bringing in a bunch of different like niche like BMX brands and like just selling it off.
Yeah.
Basically. And yeah, trying to like work out how I was going to still sort of do that. And it was literally,
you're a BMX'er, bro.
No, like, well, both. Both.
Whoa.
Yeah. It was like skating. Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
did you have pegs on your bike?
And that's the end of this episode.
I drifted back and forth between. Yeah. No, I was like
pegs, bro. Both sides, one
both
side.
sides, or did you have one on each wheel?
Varied.
On either side.
I was riding 4 pegs. I was riding rear pegs.
Did you have dice on your wheels?
No, I didn't fuck with
the dice.
No. Let me set the record straight. All right. Let me like lay this out. So like,
whoa, better, dude.
Here we go.
Be very careful with your words.
90. Look, for me, like 99% of like BMX is kind of.
Wait, was your company called BMRPX?
Shit.
All right, keep going.
Sorry.
Yeah,
No, you're good. I knew it was gonna. I was like 100%. I'm gonna cop some slack if I like tell the long ass story because it was like riding and shit. That's cool. I still have my videos up on YouTube. If you want to go saw some.
No, you should probably private those, dude.
No, dude. I used to like but basically.
No, that's sick.
So I was riding a lot of street, but basically like where I was with BMX was I was like, I don't fuck with 99% of it. Like I was always skate influenced. Like I would essentially watch skate videos and then go ride. Like, cause I was always skating anyway. Like I mean, growing up in like this tiny little rural town, we only had X Games. So it was like, you'd be rollerblading or skateboarding at school and then you go home and ride BMX on the weekends. Like that's just how it was. We just did everything.
Yeah, sure.
But I was just never that good on the board. I don't know what it was. Oh, straight up. Like I've always loved it. I was just never really that good. But legitimately, I think within 2 to 3 weeks of me getting my cane, I spotted you on the gram, and that was the life changer right there. That was Dan, by the way, that I spotted.
Go.
Yeah. And then of course I was like, I think I started like sussing you out, and I was like, oh shit, like you've got RP as well, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like maybe there's still hope, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just try skating like with the cane, and went up to the local and started pushing around with the cane, and that was it.
Sick. You had a good when you went to the park for the first time, it was a good experience.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I would always go down there anyway. Like back in Melbourne, I lived like 2 blocks from a local, and it was shout out Northcote Skate Park. That's a place, skating the courts and that. That's the spot for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
But people were hyped with the cane. They were like, yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like,
did you find people were supportive right away? Like,
yeah. I mean, like I'm like a lot of the homies like skate and stuff anyway. So
right. It
was kind of just like, oh, I'm like once I started telling people like what was actually going on and what was up, like that was all well received. But the funniest part, so we were in Melbourne for all of the pandemic, and it was the most locked down city. So just after I got my cane, we essentially went into lockdown for 2 years. So I got it was a really strange social experience because I would like people I hadn't seen for maybe a year. It's like I might have caught them in a bar or something, and no, legitimately, it's like all of a sudden I'm like this blind person with a cane rolling in like a year later, like that, dude, like what literally, happened? Like a blink of an eye kind of deal.
Have you seen Richard?
Yeah, no, straight up, it was crazy. Like I was a little nervous about that. Like we when we were allowed to go back out,
Halloween's over.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Like, get your shit together. Like, COVID's not that bad. It doesn't turn you blind.
That's really interesting.
No, it was really strange.
COVID. See, Richard, he went blind from COVID.
Yeah, straight up.
So I can understand like all that stuff you're saying. That the stress caused that's a lot of stress, dude.
Yeah,
you're talking about
stress is a killer. But like on the upside though, like when I was like getting that's why I got comfy with the cane so quick, because like we were only allowed out to exercise for like half an hour or something. In the beginning it was ridiculous. It was like the most nanny like city. Like you weren't allowed to do anything.
Go outside.
No, you legitimately weren't really allowed out at all. It was like you could go outside for an hour to exercise.
Was it pretty strict? Like people?
Oh, dude, there was like police everywhere.
Wow.
Oh no, legitimately, like it was
one
nuts.
of the most lockdown cities in the world.
The most.
Yeah, right.
The most.
One
it was,
or two.
We had like an 8 o'clock curfew. Yeah. There was cops everywhere. Like I remember, homies would go skate. Like you could kind of go and skate for like half an hour or something, and undercovers would roll up to the spot, time them, and then when it was getting up to their time, like they'd literally step out of the car and be like, "Yo, you got to go home." Like for real.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. So, but it was the flip side of that was there was nobody out and about. So I was like, I'd go for walks around the street, and I just like I didn't have to worry about anyone or like cars. There was like no traffic on the road either.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like home. So I got to like get a feel for like I got to know the neighborhood really well.
Mm-hmm. Using the cane.
So like I guess that was like literally the only plus side to that.
Is Adelaide a city too?
Yeah, Adelaide's a city. It's a smaller city, but it's really nice. Yeah.
So you grew up in your BMX phase, kind of like a little company you started?
Okay, so coming up, I was, as I said, like when I was a kid, I used to like sort of do everything, and then I kind of had like I kind of like jumped back on the bike in like my like mid-20s, and then was like, oh, okay. I want to try and do something with this, because it's like it's the same as skateboarding. You know how there's like so many different little scenes and like little niches? I was like way into like just really grimy street riding. Like I couldn't give two shits about like riding my bike at the park and like triple backflips and all that shit. I don't fuck with any of that. It's like I'd rather just like find a crusty ledge and like a nice bunny hop and like a grind or something. You know what I mean? Like just something, just simple shit. And so like there was little crews like that all around the world, and I wanted to like get in on that. So I did like a. So
but you had like a little. You were like making T-shirts and stuff, or what?
No, he would be the.
I was
I was
the importer.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it was basically
the
like
middleman,
like a distro. Like if you've heard of.
I'm trying to segue into WT.
Yeah. Here we go. Well, that's it. I was getting that. Basically, it was called Wiretap.
Come on, guys.
Wait, it was called Wiretap,
and now we're at Wiretap 2.0.
Oh,
this is 2.0.
So this is a BMX company.
Yeah, blind BMX baby, let's go.
It comes out. He just put BMX shirts in the hands of all blind skaters.
It was a subtle ruse. No, all right. So basically, like, I really like the name. So I came up with this concept, like Wiretap, which is the name of the distro at the time, because I was watching a lot of The Wire on Big. It's my favorite show.
It's like WT reverse, like TW for training wheels.
Oh my god!
How long,
dude? How much have you been singing? You've been singing that for 10 minutes.
How long did it take you to work that out in your head over there, Dan?
No, I just can't.
Oh, he's quick. He's quick. Good, yeah. That's good. Yeah, I wanted to keep the project going. That was good. So I kept the name, and I've started from scratch.
But in all realness, yeah, you literally just made, or you just came out with WT, which is like. Go into this high end.
Yeah, so it's basically essentially the world's first like adaptive skate brand. Oh no, well yeah. I mean it's a premium high-end label.
Are you wearing? You're wearing.
I'm wearing the other tee.
Wearing the tee.
And the hat.
Can I see that hat actually?
Yeah.
The tees are like incredible.
It has
heavy fabric.
Oh, the fabric is so nice.
Okay, so this is a polo style like Longbill hat, and it's got the logo in braille on the side. I want to see.
On the side.
Yeah, Ant read it earlier. I want to see if you can read it.
All the shirts I felt already are like super nice.
Yeah.
It's like embroidered braille, right? So it's like super raised.
Yeah, it's not gonna just like flake off.
No. And it's so basically like I'm super influenced by like Japanese fashion and I mean Japanese skateboarding in general. Like that's my shit. And I was just like, well, I want to have like something come through that's essentially like made for or based around like adaptive skateboarders. So it, like the whole concept is that it's built around like touch and feel and basically want to create a platform that you associate your skating with like certain brands, right? Like, there's certain styles, like, you've got Creature and like their vibe, and then you've got like, Real and their vibe. Real. Or, I mean, I'm not skating in Everson at the moment. Like, there's all these different brands with different vibes, right? And I just wanted to be like, okay, well, rather than have like some, I wanted this to be more than just like gimmicky shit. Like I don't ever want like blind or adaptive skating to be like, oh, this is a novelty. Like I wanted it to actually like have some real value behind it.
Nice, dude. So this, I'm reading it right now. It says,
I promise you're not like rubbing me underneath the table. You're just like,
no, sorry.
I was putting the tea back down under.
Oh yeah, I forgot about my tea.
Sorry.
No, I'm reading this braille on the hat. It says, "Bunny hop for life."
I nearly spat tea all over the mic.
Nice, dude. Dope hat, dude. There it is on the whole.
Bunny hopping, dude.
Yeah, but basically, like the capsule is the hats.
So Wiretap 2.0.
Yep.
When's it dropping?
Where does the name Wiretap actually come from?
From the Wire. But
the show?
No, but yeah, well that's where the religion came from. But I was just like,
wait, Wire the show?
Yeah. Originally
from Baltimore.
Yeah, dude, that was my favorite. That was my favorite.
That was your favorite show.
That was your favorite show.
Yeah.
Shouts to Avon.
I never watched that show.
Oh, it's the best shit ever.
American influence. Dude.
That's it. But the concept is like, as blind people, we essentially like eavesdrop on the world, and so that's yeah.
That's good.
So what? And again, like coming from that Japanese influence, like Wiretap translates to tocho, which translates to eavesdropping. So
funny you say that. I used to be called all the adults used to call me when I was a little kid Big Dipper, because I would just dip into the conversations. Like I'd always listen in from other.
Big D.
Yes,
there we go.
The Big Dipper.
That's a good Ferraro nugget right there. The Big Dipper.
I would listen out here all the things I wasn't supposed to, dude, from the adults. Like
you're wiretapping, dude.
Oh, yeah, man, I would always
straight
be
up there,
wiretapping,
right?
dude. No, shit, that makes so much sense.
We are just kind of
wired
in the world.
Yeah.
So like the concept is environmental eavesdropping, because it's like you bounce your cane off shit, you hear the different feedbacks and whatnot, and
That's really cool.
Awesome.
When's the brand coming out?
So official release, hopefully, if all goes well. Like, I mean, I've got 2/3 of the stock on file. I'm just waiting for these hats to come through. Will be like a spring summer release by like Australian standards, so November, December.
That's winter.
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah, doing like I'm filming my first like full video part for that.
Yeah,
let's go. He's on Flo for New Balance. On New Balance team.
Yeah, got that was actually really crazy how that's all happened. Like shouts to Sparks and Scody.
Yes.
So big love for the boys.
Yes.
I'm gonna hang on. I gotta do it first. I gotta go pee. Hold it down. This is my first time leading. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna pee my pants.
All right. Well, we're
going.
Yeah.
Well, you want to keep it rolling?
Yeah. Keep it rolling. Yeah.
I'm Dan Mancina. This is 4 Bad Eyes.
No.
No.
Dude, that's crazy though. So wait, it's coming out in November, December. And how is it? Is it going to be worldwide shipping?
Well, yeah. So basically, like, I've already got a website and stuff. No, it's all just like.
What's the website? We'll throw it in the description, but the link will be in there.
It's literally just wiretap.store.
.store.
.store, baby.
Let's
I
go.
paid the premium.
So what do you have? You're gonna have t-shirts and hats first?
Yeah,
first drop?
So the first capsule is 2 tees. One of them is a like a braille tee, and the other one is the shirt I've got on now, which has got like some prints that I did. But so my background prior was like sort of graphic design. I did like that at school and stuff. So I'm still trying to implement that.
So we got graphic design by the blind.
By the blind. It's by the blind for the blind.
And the wiretap, the braille one is sick.
Yeah.
He gifted us all one last night, and it's an incredible shirt. The thing is, like, I'm really picky about like how fabrics are in shirts, you know, and you did not skimp out on that.
No. Well, that's it. It's all ethically.
It's heavy, like it's thick.
Yeah. And they're ethically and sustainably made in Melbourne, so it's not just like cheap blanks. Like they're actually like custom made. Like I got to essentially pick the dimensions and everything. And yeah, so it's two shirts, 2 hats, but they all work together. So the shirts have got a little a little loop tag at the bottom, so you can actually clip the hat on, and yeah.
And you can clip your cane.
You can clip your cane on. Like I run a carabiner on my cane, which is a life changer. Nice. Yeah.
Do you have that on when you skate?
No. I've got it on my daily. I don't have it on my skate cane.
Oh, nice. Wait, so you're filming your first ever video part?
Well, I'm trying to do it. So like I was doing a lot of filming and stuff prior to losing the sight too, so I'm trying to sort of dive into that, and it's kind of giving like the blind perspective. So I'm actually doing a lot of filming myself as well. Like I'm actually operating the camera.
That is so cool.
I just sold my VX2 to come on this trip too with a MK2 fisheye. So
I'm back. It was
Wait,
bad
you
saying
sold
about
your
it.
VX? Yeah, so I had 2 VXs. I sold them both. It's just easy to make the switch to HD with where we at. But yeah. It sold the VX to come on the trip.
Yeah, Rich.
And you have the graphic design background.
Design background, yeah.
So like you said, you're doing all the logos.
Yeah, so it's pretty much like I do everything myself because I just want to kind of show that, like, you know, yes, you can lose your sight or whatever, but you can still keep doing like the things that you actually want to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm, as I said, trying to do pretty much everything myself, which is it's a blessing and a curse. Because it takes so fucking long. Well,
listen, make sure everyone goes in November, December. Look out for that drop. Wiretap.store.
Or at wiretap.av on Instagram.
We'll throw all that down there.
What's
too.
The AV?
It's audio visual, because we're audio visual people.
That's right.
Yes.
That's it.
True.
That's it.
And one thing I want to say is just, I know the vision loss stuff kind of came up on you rapidly and quick and just like out of nowhere kind of for you. Just make sure you like take the time to like grieve those feelings when you have it. Like try not to just like push them down, because that'll cause a lot of stress too. Well, that's it. And this is what I was getting at earlier. Like if we want to get deep, we can get deep. I don't know how much time y'all got. We got time.
Go ahead.
So
the floor is yours, man.
Well, I mean, and this is where Mullins comes into the mix. So big shouts to Nick, because I mean, like it's worth sharing this, because like, you know, everyone sees like y'all on the internet and it's like, oh, you know, you're all like having like the best time and stuff, but there is a flip side to it, of course.
Yeah, we talk about that here.
Yeah, and that's I guess if this is the place, and this is the place. Literally 3 days before Nick actually hit me up, I was just getting out of the psych ward. I was in the psych ward for about a week and a half. Oh no, sorry, about a week.
Did you check yourself in?
Yeah.
Join the club.
Here we go.
Yeah. I had 5 seizures. It was like a Saturday or something. Like I had like 5 stress seizures, and I was like, I'm gonna run to the train tracks. I'm out. I was like, I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
But I physically couldn't move, and so I was just like, I was in such a state that I called the ambulance myself, and they came, and I was like still having these seizures and shit, and I was just in the worst place. Like I was in like, I've had a history of mental health, like up and down.
Same.
Like there was like maybe 2 attempts. I got hit by a car in 2013, which I kind of stepped out into, which, you know, subconsciously I think I was stepping out into it. But so there was that, and then like, you know, time goes by and all that sort of stuff. And there's been like a bunch of different shit happen. Like I've been at the bottom for quite a while, but yeah, literally, like I was done. I was just like, there's just too much stress. Like I basically was like, I can't live like this anymore.
Yeah.
And yes, but anyway, went into the hospital, spent a week in there, which was, you know, it was a break at least.
It's a break, and it's like kind of a depressing break too, but you get to think.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I had
It's
nothing,
like
nothing but time. It's like a bubble. It's like a straight up bubble.
It's a safe place to hit pause.
Yeah.
It's like you can get out of your own like fear of like getting hurt or hurting yourself or hurting someone else around you.
Yeah.
And because you're hurting others just by being like that. You don't mean to.
Well, that's it. And it's like, you know, like I was there, and like, you know, Chloe, my partner, was there, and I felt so
Shout
horrible.
out to Chloe.
Oh, big shouts to Chloe.
I was going to ask, you were with...
Yeah, she was home, and like, she, you know, we're both, I mean, she's had to watch me go through all these fits and like wonder whether or not I'm dying. Like, she's had to witness all of that. Like, she has to, every time I have one of these episodes, she has to like stay up, and she's on alert. She's like, do I have to call the ambulance? Blah, blah, blah. Like, she is such a trooper.
Wow.
And it's nuts, dude. But yeah, basically.
So how did things go after like?
I got out. I essentially like got back into like a bit of a mental health plan and whatnot. And literally 3 days later, Nick messaged the group, because we've got like a blinded skate chat.
Wow.
He messaged the group being like, yo, like, I'm having this event. I want you all there. And I was just like, oh, like,
I'm gonna fucking do it. Yeah.
well, yeah, and like I was on the fence about it for a little bit.
You were,
yeah.
I remember even reaching out saying, "Dude, let me know. Like, I'll try and raise funds to get you out here."
Yeah, and I mean, like, because at the time I had the capital. Like, I was lucky enough to get a little insurance payout a little while back. But I'm on like scraps now, and like I've literally put the last of that into the brand in this trip, which is nuts.
Tap.
Yeah,
Go support.
Yeah. But Nick hit me up, and I was like, as I said, umming and ahhing, and then like he's like, yo, like, let's tee up a call, because I hadn't actually spoken to Nick in a minute. Like we talked when I'd first found him. Actually, no. Side note, really fun story. When I found Nick, and like I literally found him like real quick, because once I found Dan, I started searching. I was literally just like, there's got to be other people, and then like I think I found Ant like a couple weeks later. Although you weren't really pushing the skating as much.
No, I'm very diversified. I don't just focus on that.
I think I first found you as like, he's this like blind busker or something. Like,
playing music. Yeah,
straight up. But then it was like, it was a clip of that, and then the next clip was you like skating a half pipe, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, okay. But yeah, when
don't
I found,
say that, they're called mini ramps on this podcast.
Yeah,
Dan will get very upset.
Yeah, I'll fight both of y'all.
No, I'm with you. But.
Yeah, basically, when I found Nick and like hit Nick up, he called me within 20 minutes.
That's Nick.
I don't even know what time it was, but it was definitely like, because of the time difference. It was a crazy time for him. It was like 3 a.m. or some shit. He's like, yo, dude, what's going on? Like, you know, thanks for reaching out, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, obviously I've been keeping in touch ever since. But, Nick was like, look, it's worth it. Like, it'd be so good to like, you know, get out here. And like, then the months, this was, you know, because this has been in the works for a couple months. Again, it was something to look forward to. And like the reflection of that, I actually had this moment the other night when I went, I went down my hub, like that first hubber.
Last night.
Yeah, it was last night. I rolled away, and then I actually dipped out for like 5 minutes, and I fucking bawled my eyes out.
Yeah,
because I was crying. I fucking cried, dude. I was just like, what a contrast to like this whole year's been like crazy, but I was just like, this, you know, skateboarding is the absolute savior. I was beside, like, literally, I've been beside myself this whole trip. It's been so surreal, and it's only just started, really. Like, I'm in America for another nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah, about to bring your ass to Jersey.
Man.
I just have to say that meeting you and hearing what you just said, you're an awesome person, and I'm like very glad to meet you.
Oh, bless, man.
And you should definitely stay here on this earth for as long as you can, man. You're a great person, and it's a lot to go through. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of it. Like, I'm happy to meet you, and like you're good vibes, and you're Yeah, it's reciprocal of the feelings of getting to skate together and everything. So
Oh well, that's it. I mean, like, you know,
we want you here.
I can't echo that more than Dan, because like I remember, man, I was following you on like Instagram and stuff, but didn't really talk too much. And then the first time we spoke on the phone, I was just like, this guy's freaking amazing. And I remember like hanging out, like we spent a long time on the phone. We hung out,
dude. Yeah,
we hung out. Like, we were chilling.
Hung out. It was sick.
I hung up the phone and I looked at Kelly. I was like, dude, this guy's fucking awesome. Like, I can't wait to meet him. And like, that's just, it goes to show like you have an effect on the people you meet, and there's people that love you and don't, you belong here, man.
Yeah, no, bless. So, and that's it. It's like I owe a lot to, you know, both the dudes sitting on either side of me. Like, I mean, finding Dan within, as I said, it was literally within weeks of my diagnosis, and like, you know, just getting the cane and that. And then the cane. That's the one. That's the one.
When you said that about being able to like look up after you got the cane, like not staring at your feet.
Oh, that's a metaphor right there, right?
It's true. Once I accepted it, I was like, I stared at my feet even though I couldn't even see them. Yeah. And like I once I got the cane, I was able to like just like
keep your head
whatever I was hearing, I could look that way, you know, because you just want to turn your head that way no matter what.
For me, it was like taking in scenery. Like all of a sudden, I was like, oh my god, like I was like noticing houses and shit. Like
use your residual vision.
Because I still had a little bit to like take that in, and it's like even now, like I mean, even when we were driving, like we went out to, we took a little trip. It was not a little trip. It was a long ass drive. It was only an hour and 20. Long ass drive, mate.
It was heaps of time.
Yeah, mate. But like,
shout out to our driver, Regal.
What?
Regal.
Yeah,
Kelly.
That's it.
Kelly Ferraro.
Oh, the real MVP of the trip, dude. Kelly's fucking killed it, and that's actually been really cool too, being able to meet Kelly like people behind the scenes.
I'm so glad to hear that you found that it's been worth it, like making that trip out here.
Oh, it's like honestly getting to meet everyone, getting to like hang out with Colton. So Colton's like he's another dude. I originally thought he was outside of Pittsburgh, but he's from PA.
He's a young buck, dude. He's coming up,
dude.
How
Colton,
old is he? 18 or something.
He's 19 now. Colton reminds me of me at that age, and I was like, as soon as like we actually met, I was like, oh my god, this is like you're me, but like 10 years in the future, you know what I mean? I'm like, so we bonded instantly. I was like, this is a kid I want to take under my wing type deal. Like I've mad love for this dude, but being around everyone and like I can't even put into words again, like that atmosphere, like it's all this, like we've skated so hard in the last few days.
I've never skated this much in my entire life.
When we get to Jersey, we're straight.
I haven't. I've never skated that long in my entire life. My feet, like the bottom of my feet ache, and like my legs, I couldn't even ollie today for like 2 hours of warming up.
Yeah, that was today sucked.
I want to know, speaking of like you come to America, you said you grew up in like a small rural town in Australia, right?
Yeah, so I moved out of home at 18, but for my childhood, 98% of it was spent in this tiny little town called King Lake in Victoria, and it snowed in the winter.
Did you ever like as a kid dream about coming to America?
Well, it's funny, like our perception of it, like America as kids, was like we used to watch, you know, a bunch of cartoons and stuff. So I remember watching like Hey Arnold and was like, oh, that's how everyone lives.
Football head?
No,
straight up.
This is interesting to get a perception.
Yeah. So you have all these like warped perceptions, right? So and then as you get into high school and you start watching like American Pie and shit, you're just like, oh, that's what life's like.
In America, people just get drunk and like
no, straight up though, like for real. It was just like, oh, people just like get drunk, go to house parties and drink out of red cups and shit. Like that's just what you do.
So that's how you were getting your perception. Like, Hey Arnold was giving you a perception of America.
Is it like New York? Is that?
Yeah, I think it's New York, right?
Yeah.
On the stoop.
So what did you have like a desire to go to America or no?
Yeah, I mean, like 2/3 of like the shit that I'm into was, you know, whether it's music or whatever, has come from like American culture. And like I remember, when I first came over, which was 2012, I was like way into like, you know, the punk and hardcore scene at the time, and I came in for a bunch of festivals with like a heap of homies from like the country, and it was a trip then because it was like
What was
all.
it like, dude? Coming to America first time.
First time was pretty wild. I got to see a heap of the country because I still, I was like early 20s. I still had like a heap on my side. And like I caught a train from LA to Seattle. I caught the train from Seattle to Chicago. Like I spent some time in Philly.
man.
Like I tried to do heaps. Like I saw bald
did a
eagles and
lot,
stuff. And I was
man.
like, oh, I'm here, baby, America.
America, bald eagle.
Yeah. But for real though, like when I was in the real like I'm in America point was I was in San Francisco and somebody got shot outside the place I was staying the first night I was there, and I was just
Oh
like,
my
yep, I'm
God,
here, I'm
dude.
here. So yeah, that was,
That's insane. Welcome to America.
yeah. Well, we were like downtown near like K-Town in SF, and yeah, somebody got shot like out the front.
And you don't have guns in Australia, so you're probably like, what?
Oh, they got guns.
We've got guns. We just
okay.
it's just we have gun control.
Big
Yeah,
hunters.
Yeah. Well, that's it. There's hunting. There's, I mean, like, you got to get the
Let's
kangaroos
say
somehow,
there's not
mate.
like there's not a lot of black market guns being sold.
No, but that
Yeah.
being said, like, I mean, there's still shootings and shit, but it's nowhere near
Australia
the level it is here.
is built from criminal. It's the criminals. They all you're all the criminals, right?
Oh, let's not talk about
Let's
the
not go
colonization of
there.
that country,
Oh.
because I mean, like, there's so much, like, there's Australia has a lot to answer for.
Badass people, dude.
It's my dream is it's one of my top places I've always wanted to go to is Australia.
Hell
I
yeah.
do. That's high in my list.
I've yet been able to get there.
That jet lag is a.
Well, yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I don't know how you guys go with the jet going back, because I know like when I fly back, I'll be fine. I'll just like sleep for a day and I'll be good. But
Yeah, you're
all the
really
American
champing it out.
all the
dude.
American guys I know would say going, coming. Wait, what? Jeez.
It's coming home.
because coming home is what messes you up. Like coming back here is what messes you up, because it's like so when I flew out, it was Monday night. Hang on, what was it? No, it was it was. I left on a Monday night and landed in Detroit at Tuesday morning, but 30 hours had passed in that time.
Yeah, they always say going there is harder. They always say.
Yeah,
and coming
okay.
back is.
What was the hardest?
I'm sorry,
thing-
reverse that. Jesus.
What was this is a question I have. What was the hardest thing you when you lost your sight? What was the hardest thing to learn?
To not look at things, for real. Like I'm only just now, I think, getting at the point where I'm actually trying to relax my eyes more, where I'm trying not to look at things and rely on my other
Yes.
senses.
Yeah.
You know
It's
what I mean?
hard. It's really hard.
Because what people don't understand is when you've still got a little bit of sight. Like it's funny. I have this weird envy for Dan, for example, because you're at zero. So it's like you
No,
don't,
I totally get that.
you don't have that little extra that little bit of extra stimulation that is actually just too much. And like and I know you've got like that little bit, and it's like it's almost too much.
So I used to have, like, I could see a little bit, and it would just get, like, so for example, I would have worse vision than the person who was visually impaired, like in one of my classes, but I could see better than them because I was hanging on to what I had so much.
Yeah.
And I was trying so hard to not be blind. Like that was my goal. Like I was like, I'm not blind and no one's gonna ever figure it out.
Yeah.
And then once I lost like pretty much all my usable vision,
Yeah.
it's just I like was able to like finally let go and then use the cane and just like kind of accept being blind, and it really opened up, it took a lot of stress and anxiety away.
Yeah.
Especially the social anxiety. That's the worst, I think, when I was
100%.
That's funny because they train VRTs and low vision specialists to really push the idea of use that vision.
Yeah,
use
but that's the thing. It's like I had this argument with my ophthalmologist the other week because I was talking about like potentially just knocking on my left because it's essentially redundant now. But he's like, no, and like you can still see a little bit. I was like, yeah, but I'm at the point where it hurts to look at anything. Like it hurts, dude. Like there's not like a physical like stabbing pain or anything, but the stress. Like the tension and all of that, like all like like my optic nerves are just so short, and like all that runs down the back of my neck, and it affects the rest of my body. It's so nuts. It's so nuts.
I wonder if do you get migraines? Because I used to get them so bad to the point when I would try to use my vision that we were trying to figure out what was wrong with me for so long. Like I had to go get MRIs and stuff. because I would get these migraines to the point where I'd have to like leave school early and stuff because I'd be trying to use any vision I had, and to the point where I'd almost like throw up. And then finally we realized it was like I was just straining my eyes so much constantly that it was making me like sick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's so it's funny as the site's deteriorated, my neuro stuff has kind of evolved. So those the episodes that I was talking about earlier are called like hemiplegic migraines. So if you look that shit up, it's essentially like a stroke on paper.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie's our Google guy.
That's a Joe Rogan podcast.
Joe Rogan. Yeah.
Come on, Jamie. Do it, mate. Let's go. So, but like in the beginning, like, I was getting like all these headaches and like dizzy spells, but it's actually evolved to, these weird like stroke. So instead of having like a standard like headache, it's the stroke symptoms and then it's the seizure.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But it all stems from the
it's all essentially it's
brain neurological stuff.
Neurological stress basically. Yeah.
Gotta meditate.
That's why you're the Tai Chi.
Yeah. Well, that and like I'm trying to focus more on like
Mental
breathing. Like if you haven't already, fucking go out and either read or listen to James Nestor's Breath. That book is crazy. That was really good.
I just find too when I'm most stressed out, like my breathing is very off and I'm not getting full breaths. And we're constantly not breathing enough.
Well, try this though. Like when you're skating next, like keep your mouth shut. And I mean that in more ways than one. I'm sick of your shit.
My nose is fucked. My nose has been broken
Anthony,
like 3 times.
Shut
up.
Yeah, I'm blind. Let's see if I can keep my big mouth shut. Like,
no, dude, I'm the energy, bro. I keep it lifted.
Yeah, no, we need you with your mouth open for the session for sure. We need to keep the boys hyped.
I'm the hype man.
Hell yeah. No, well that's it. Yeah.
It's been unreal, dude. This weekend has been unreal. I can't explain how stoked I am that you made it. I've been really excited ever since I heard you were coming out.
Absolute pleasure to meet you, brother.
Oh, it's been amazing having me here, and like again, big shouts to everyone who I've interacted with this weekend. Like George at Modern, like heart of gold, that man, and like Casey and the team, and just everyone else who I've been able to sort of be around. Like I've said it in the other interview. It's like I've never been around this many blind people that are this many blind skaters, and it's just like that perspective.
Get it out, mate.
Yeah, it's coming. It's late. It's pretty late. The perspective. Which is so funny because obviously none of us can really see, has been life changing, like legitimately life changing. Like I've got family here now, which is crazy. That's like 100%. And like and even like Shane, Shane the adaptive skater, big shouts for like getting in the mix and stuff like that. That's really cool.
Oh man, that's it. Can't thank you enough.
Oh, thanks for having me, y'all.
This weekend was crazy. Pushed some limits. Skate the adapted park and modern.
Yes, I hope you enjoy the rest of your trip.
Where can everyone find you?
So you can get me at Liquid Canes. I'll be in Jersey with the Ferraros for a couple days.
Ferraros.
We're going Ferrari style, baby. No, we're keeping it real slow. I'll be up in New York for like a week or so after that, and then I'm debating whether or not to jump on the Do Tour, or I'll just go to LA for a couple of days.
But you're most active on Instagram?
Yeah. If people want to get at me at Liquid Canes.
Liquid Canes.
At Liquid Canes. Shouts to Jizza, the Liquid Swords. The way, baby.
Go.
That's the one.
You want to send us off? You know how the podcast ends. Come on, Richard.
Well, keep pushing. One love.
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Keep pushing.
One love.
Keep pushing and one love from 4 Bad Eyes.